All right, here we go. How is everybody doing? Let me see. Gonna get a couple things set up here and mute myself so I don't hear myself twice. Okay. So I'm jumping on this morning to help a friend out, Old Man 1022, with his Rickyville map and do a tutorial on adding more tip to ground fill types to a map. I'm going to use his map because mine is already done and we'll start from scratch. And how's everybody doing? Dirk Diddy? Or Dirk Kitty, 1987, Master Mecha. You're still at work. I'm sorry, Master, but we will put this up on YouTube as a tutorial. And it is going to be live, so I may screw something up in the process here. Um, Let me see if I can just activate a couple more things on the stream there. I don't know if the current total, but that was my total before the stream of followers. We're getting close to 3,000. I don't know if it'll update live or not. I just threw that in there real quick. All right, so adding new tip to ground fill types. Because there is a limit, and my map I already had to do it, of 32, it's pretty close, and when you get the Seasons mod in there, they use a few, so we're going to expand the current number from 32 to 64, and I'm going to use the Rixeyville map to do it, and then when I'm done, we'll send him a copy. I have his map. Now, disclaimer, I haven't played his map, but I know it's very similar to mine, so I should be able to find everything pretty easily with any luck. So let's see. Jock Holiday, join the stream. All right. First thing we need to do, and I do have an instruction list for you guys. Let me get that as well. There is a step-by-step instructions how to do this on the Giants forum, and I will have to read through it as we're going along. I'll set the link there for anybody that needs it. I'll post it. Oh, I gotta post it over on my other stream. That's right, this one isn't connected. I'll post it up here right now. That's the link I am going to be following. And I'll set that up as a command for anybody that, as instructions, I guess. We'll add a one, or maybe we'll call it tip to ground, all one word, exclamation point, tip to ground, and I'll put the link in there for anybody that might want to get it later on. All right, now that that's set, exclamation point, tip to ground should give you guys the instructions as well. So, first thing is, Giants Developer Network. Sadly, I got too many browsers going here for this stream. I'm going to try to do this. We'll bring this one up. If you go to the Giants Developer Network, just Google Giants Developer Network. The first tool you're going to need is on their website. I am not logged in, but if you log into their website, you will see the downloads right here. You'll be able to go in there and grab the GRLE converter for the current version. I already have that downloaded. Just make your own account. Because I am not logged in on that browser and I'm watching the stream on the other one, you guys can take care of that. Get the GRLE converter and you will have a few files in here. I have several more. I am going to delete these because they were mine. And I am going to go to his map, the Rixeyville map, and open up the, let's see, maps. Let's see where he has a map file. You're going to look for the terrain detail height density file that's within the map. right here, .gdm. Make a copy of that, paste it into your GRLE converter file, and then you're going to have a couple of convert. I use the convert sample command. I don't even know. Let me check. Let's edit this with Notepad. Yeah, GRLE convert. All right. The convert sample is set up for me. It's a command file. You should have one of these too. It's been a while since I downloaded it. But the text line that you need to have is grleconvert.exe, terrain detail height density.gdm, and then you have an out path dash out terrain detail height density.png. As long as you have your terrain detail height density in the folder, then when you click on the convert sample command, it's going to run. And it is going to create, as you can see, a terrain detail height density PNG file out of the GDM. You're going to copy that back into your folder on your map where the GDM file currently exists, and delete the GDM file from the map like so. So you just have the terrain detail height density PNG file in that folder. Next, you're going to find the map i3D file, whatever you have for your main map i3D file, and edit that with your Notepad++ or whatever program you use to do your editing files. We'll load it up here. Might take a minute. Okay. So now we're looking at the i3D file in the text editor. Search, find TERRAINDETAIL. That should be all you need. And it will bring you to the line where the terrain detail height density file number is. Change the GDM on that to .png, so it will load the PNG file in the editor rather than the GDM that doesn't exist anymore. Once that is done, you save it. We saved it. I'm going to leave it up there for now. And we're going to go to the Rixieville map in the editor, 8.1.0, and load that up into the editor. Actually, I'm going to do a couple other things before I do that. Let's scrap. Like I said, this is live. There are a couple steps that I think you should do before you load it up, because this is where, yeah, we'll make a couple more changes to the map. Let's get back to my instruction sheet that I was trying to do it without this time. Where's that browser open? We'll back it up a step. Alright, so my instruction sheet is in right here. So basically, I did converted it, then changed the density GDM. That's good. That's all set to the PNG. We have to do all these other steps first. So while we're in the editor, let's close this back down. While we're in the editor for the map, the next thing we want to search, well, actually, we probably can keep going down, find next. There. You'll find a line labeled detail layer, and it will be the terrain detail height right here. And I'm going to make sure, because there's a lot of little steps here. I'm going to bring that back up on my screen. So if my stream crashes, I might not see it later. All right. So detail layer name, you want to change your terrain detail number density map channels to 12. So we're going to up that to 12. Next step in this, let's see, would be the compression channels to 6. Now this is interesting because I am pretty sure that his map will be just like mine, and it did not have the compression channels listed in there. So this might be where he was getting a little screwed up. Paste in compression channels equals 6. If it's not there, if you do have a compression channels and it's set to 5, make sure it is set to 6. Next step in the process would be to go down to 4. You're going to have the combined value channels, and we want to set them to these values right here, 060, 660. So back over to here, we search that same exact line for the combined value channels, and we're going to change that to 060 and that one to a 6 as well on that line. And the first height channel has to also go to a 6 right there. Now, while we're doing this, that's the first height channel right there. While we're doing this, I will point out one other thing that you can do, and that is there is a pile height. If you want your piles to be taller, there's a max height you could change to whatever. Mine are set to 6, his are 4. That's why I have really tall piles in my map. So you could make that edit there as well, but we're going to leave his the same. Terrain detail height line is done. So now we'll save it. The factories on Dirt Kitty are all placeables, and they are coming in. So hello all to France, Papidou, and everybody. Thank you for following Thumper. I don't know why I'm not getting the information. That's what I was trying to fix. Event alert box is not going. Tried turning that off and back on. That's a bug that just popped up in Streamlabs. So I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody, because we're doing this and I'm actually concentrating on what I'm doing. So your terrain detail height density is done. Your map edits are right through. We finished that step. Now open the map in GE and save it again, and the GDM file will be generated. So that is where we go into and we load up the map i3D file. You followed when it was doing ads. All right. Miller in 2017. How you doing? Load up the map in the editor after you make those changes. So PV19 Dirt Kitty is getting factories. Go to my, you'll see down below on my mod center, the factories are all placeables right now. You can put them wherever you want. We're adding them as time permits, and later on today I will be releasing the Goldmaster as well. That is finished, as well as a bank sell point. So we're in the map. I'm just going to check, make sure nothing out of the ordinary happened in the load up, and it didn't, so we're good. No errors at all. Everything loaded. Click the save button to save the map. And once it's saved, which we'll be getting to in a minute. Which map are you referring to, Thumper 482? They're in the water. You can... Yeah, they're in the water. Just waiting for this to finish saving. The boats are actually trains in both our maps. So you have to tab to them. Come on, finish up saving. How big is this map? I never even looked. But it takes longer to save. There we go, we finished. So we can now exit the map. Now, it might have been because it was creating the GDM file as well. Go back into the map folder. And if done correctly, you will come down to where you see that terrain detail height density PNG. And you will also have another brand new terrain detail height density GDM file. So we're going to delete the PNG file. We're going to come back over here and reload. If you're in this, it'll tell you want to basically reload the fresh copy of the map that has been edited in your i3D editor, and we're going to search, find that terrain detail line again. Although I think it was... There we go, and we're going to change this back to the .gdm so it loads our GDM file. And save. Now that that is complete, we have the map is ready almost. We have a couple more steps to do. Let me go back to... That's all the really main stuff, editing the GDM file. That part is done. There's a couple other new things we need to do. Adjust the ground height shader. This will probably load from the original path, which is $data shaders ground height shader. We need to take that and put that shader into our map and rename it. So what we're going to do is go back to the editor once again. Search, find ground height, and there it is, ground height shader XML. We're going to delete the $data off of that so it loads from our map. Now, I don't know if he has a shaders file in his map, so let's check his paths. He does have it, so we're going to put that right into there, and it's going to load because that's the way I left the path from his map. I just took the $data off. So shaders, ground height, shader, XML. We're going to save that with that change, and then we're going to go grab the ground height shader from Giants. Now the path, these are the in-game files. So I have it on Steam. You will browse to wherever the in-game files. If you're on Steam, it's Steam Apps, Common Farming Simulator, Data. If it's not on Steam, I believe it's just Farming Simulator, Common. Yeah, you'll find all the shaders in, or you can grab it off of one of my maps because it's in there as well now. But you basically just need to grab the ground height shader right here. Copy it, don't cut it out of the giants, and we're going to go over and paste it into the map. We have a ground height shader XML file. Further down our list of things to do. Next step. So now we have it and it's linked correctly in the map. Now we're going to open that shader and make a couple changes to lines 11 and 192. So the shader, now that it's in the map, is we can close that down. We don't need that anymore. Let's go back to that shader, ground height shader, and edit it with Notepad++. And on 11, line 11, there is, let's see, did I open the right one? Ground height shader. Let's see what he wanted me to change. I can't remember now. Let's see. Default name, shared ground height noise. I'm gonna grab the dollar data. That's what he changed it because it's in our map now. So just gonna take out these so it calls the in-game dollar data shared ground height noise PNG. It knows where to find it. Before it didn't need the dollar data because it wasn't in the map. So that's the line for line 11. Just make it dollar data shared ground height noise. And then down to line 192, right here, we're going to change that 31 to 63. Global ground types. And click on save that. Let me go back here. So now we have the 63. Next on this page, there is a copy of code. We're going to try to get the whole piece of code here. Right there. Copy that code. And name it modmap.lua. So we're going to create a new text file in our editor. File, new. We'll paste in that code into the file, and then we'll save that as, we're going to put it in the base folder of his map, right in here with all the, is that the base folder? Rickyville, nope, right there. And we're going to name it modmap.lua and click save. So now if we come back out to his Rickyville map, we will see that we have a modmap.lua file added, and you can get that code again, exclamation point tip to ground, I believe, to get the instruction sheet. But there it is. I'll leave it open for a couple seconds so you guys can see exactly how it has to be formatted if you don't want to go over there, and pause your screen here if you need to create that modmap.lua file. Alright. Next, we're going to go down and enter the modmap.lua in the mod description file. Adjust the corresponding line of the map. So here we go to the mod description file. We're going to edit that in the map with Notepad++. Right here in the map line where it says sample mod map, yours might say something different, but this is where we have to make some additional changes. The first one being, it's going to change the class name to modmap and the file name to modmap.lua. So those two changes have to be done. Class name, the same way you spelled it on the file, modmap, and the file name, because it's in our base folder, we don't need all this. It's going to be modmap.lua. Point it and spell it exactly the way you have it spelled here. Take a break here. You yeah, so far it's easier than what I thought it would be. FS19, I could do it in my sleep. Morpheus simulations. You can always ask questions. You just used your question up by asking me if you could ask a question, though. No, but go ahead, absolutely. You already did, and I answered. Will your factories ever be able to be used on other maps as they are awesome? Only if the other map makers make the changes to their maps to add the products in. Some of them may work if they have the products in their map, but I can't customize their map, and I'm not adding the products into mine. So as fill types, they're already built into my map. Let's continue on with this. We have our mod map Lua, and it is now linked in our mod description file. We'll double check and make sure there's nothing else in there that we need to do. The file name is all the same. Yep, everything else is good. And that's it, really. That is it for the map changes, but obviously we'll save that. We don't have any new tip to ground fill types. However, if I am correct, in Rickyville, he already has the silt because we use silt. So you have the silt, silt normal, and silt distance diffuse. I'm going to activate this one on his map to show you how to add it in. And then later, if he wants me to add another one, we'll choose like we can also add peanut in because we have the files in there. Let's do those first for him. Then we'll bring in carrot as just an example of how to go and edit the tip to ground fill types. So in the map, in the XML file, if you don't have it, you need to have a maps density, map height types XML file. Edit that with Notepad. Now his does have the same as mine. So what we're going to do is copy one of those. And again, if you need one of those files, you can probably grab it out of the Giants files or just grab it out of another map. And we're going to add a new one. We're going to name it Silt, S-I-L-T. And we're going to leave all those settings. Now, another interesting thing that I did not go through is, we'll talk about that in just a second, but there's a tip on ground. Those are the files I was just looking at. Back here, it's in the files, tip on ground. We have silt diffuse, silt normal, silt distance diffuse. So they're all named the same. I'm just going to change the coal part to silt diffuse, silt normal, and silt distance diffuse. That is our silt file. I'm also going to do a second one here for testing purposes for him. And we're going to add the peanut, which, let me go back here. Peanut diffuse, yep, so same process. I'm going to do peanut, and then we're going to do it to peanut diffuse, peanut normal, and call those files and peanut distance diffuse. Alright, so when we go in, we should have two new tip to ground fill types on his map, silt and peanut. Now we'll do one additional one, and I will show you how to format the files for the carrot. And I'm using the root vegetables because they're kind of, so we'll rename that carrot, tip on ground, carrot diffuse, carrot normal, and our carrot distance diffuse. So we have that set up for carrot, but we don't have the carrot files yet. And we need to get them in here. So what I always do is I very simply look at one of the existing files, and I have this program called DXTBMP that if I drag and drop, it will load up, and it tells me right in the eye that it's a DXT5, and that's very important. 512 by 512 size. That's what I always look for. So I know that the file that I bring in here for Carrot has to be a DXT5 and the 512 by 512 size. And now that you guys know that, you don't have to actually drop it. So I will go into his fill planes, and I will make a copy of the Carrot diffuse file, and I'm going to put it into the tip on ground and paste it. And I chose Carrot. Now let's look and see what this is for. And that is a DXT 512 by 512. So technically it will work just fine. Some of them don't come in there. Next we want to get a Carrot normal file and a Carrot distance diffuse file. I do not think he might have them. And you could actually link these files, but I like to keep them separate. You could use the same file if everything's the same. There's our Carrot diffuse. Now, let's go back over to his fill planes. Let's see. I'll try to catch back up. Let's see. Do you want to let chat know where to get Rixeyville? Yes, I will. Rixeyville is over on Old Man 1022's Facebook page. I'll get you that link as well in a little bit. We'll help you out there. Yep, let's see. I will make a link for that one. I think that linking is okay by Old Man 102. Some people have ability to link. I think all subs now can link. So he doesn't have a Carrot normal and a Carrot specular file in his fill plane. So we're going to go over and create them in the tip on ground. So let's take a look and see what the settings on a normal file for the tip on ground have to be. A DXT1 file at 512 by 512. Now I use GIMP for this, and I'll drag that file right in. Now GIMP, I'm not going to get all technical into this. The normal map plugin is out there. I don't know where to find it. I added it in a long time ago. I wish I could find a new one that does the new type normals, but I am going to go and filters, map, normal map, and I already have it set for 4 sample, average, unchanged, and I click OK, and it creates me a normal map. File, export, yep, it's 512 by 512. So file, export as Carrot normal, right into the tip on ground file folder, NORMAL, and he can grab these out of my map if you want my latest 1.8 version. But for anybody that's not using the same crop types, you'll want to know how to do this. We're going to export that to a DXT1, and we'll generate the bitmaps, and now we have a Carrot normal file. Now the only other one we need is the Carrot distance diffuse file. So while I have that open in editor, I am going to go, we're going to go undo the normal map. Now the diffuse files are smaller. They are not the distance diffuse. We're going to make a distance diffuse. We'll see what size it is here real quick. It's another DXT1, but it's 256 by 256. So in GIMP, I'm going to image resize or scale the image to 256 by 256, scale it down. I also go to a blur and I put a motion blur on it, and I have it set. I just blur it out a little because it's a distance file. And file, export as caret DISTANCE underscore DIFFUSE dot DDS as a DXT1. And now we have 3 files for caret in there, so the caret should be linked up. That's pretty much the steps for adding more tip to grounds. You get 32 additional with the thing, but we got to go in and test them, of course. So I have his map all saved. It's all in there. We can close this down. Let's go in and check out his map and see if we have some new tip to ground fill types. This will work real easy if you have the I'll find the name for it in just a minute, and then we'll give you a link. We'll fill up and get you the rest of the links right after this, and then we're going to end this show. Not too bad. We started at 10. Be done with this little tutorial right around 10, well, a little bit under an hour. Let me find an empty space here. We'll start a new farmer. We have Rixeyville. I'm going to click continue. I am going to deselect a bunch of my mods. So, well, actually I can load them up. We might get errors with my mods because he might not have the fill types. But I don't think we would unless we placed them. So let's see what happens. I ran it with them all selected before. And we're going to load seasons up too, because that's a big part of this test, is if they do not work, it will crash while loading seasons. And if it does work, it should load up just fine. And if I missed anything, we'll know. But I think I got it this time. First time through. I'm thinking. We'll find out. Now it is his map, so I'm not 100% familiar with what we will be doing. You're welcome there, Miller Inc. 2017. Let's see what we've got. And then I'll go over and grab his link to his site while we're loading up there. If I can find it. Oh, what was it? I don't have it. It's got to be here on this Facebook page somewhere. Let me go back. My groups. There it is. So we'll give you the Rixeyville link here. I think that's it. Let me test it first in chat and make sure that it works before I link it up as a command here. Let's see. Control V. It's a big one. Oh, it's got a character limit. It won't load all that. Let's see if I can. Oh, it's got the search in there. Let's see what if I can do that again. There it is. Alright, this is the link right here. Now we'll put it in the chat. Yeah, there you got it. Facebook.com groups. I will make a command for that. add command shift exclamation point. I'll make sure I got the name of the map spelled correctly before RICCIVILLE exclamation point RICCIVILLE and control V. We'll put that in there and submit. So exclamation point Rickyville will pull that up at any point that you need. Let's go back. We look like we're pretty free from errors. So if we start the map, and I don't know where I am, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase myself a tipper, and we'll buy that one. And I'm going to tab to the store, wherever the store may be. It's kind of funny doing this. And I use a mod that's on the Giants mod hub. It is called Easy Development Commands. We can come over here and we can find the silt and load a trailer of silt. Now we're gonna come over here. Where is the store? I am right here in the shop. So let's buy this field. Also, I've got the money cheat so I can buy stuff. I'm gonna buy the field 21 just south in the direction I'm facing, and we're gonna drive over there because we need to. And this is with seasons activated. We should get the tip to ground fill type once we're at a place where we can tip. So there we are, left control I. And there's silt in the Rickyville map, back to tip to ground. Once we empty it, we'll do a test with the other two. Make sure you check your log. Nothing new on the bottom. Sometimes I get image file issues. Sometimes I don't, like today. But just, if you copy an image and you forget to resize it, or you forget to put it as a DXT1 when it's supposed to be DXT1 or DXT5, then you'll get those errors. But we're good with that, so we should also be able to fill the carrot and peanut on this one, if we can find them. Did I miss them yet? Rice, coal, sorghum, rye, mustard. There's peanut. Left control I. And there's a peanut. Again, check. No errors coming up, so we're good there. Yes, you will need to repaint the mining products back in your map. So again, what I do is I take and I make these products on the map just like I am now after I'm done. Just where I want like the silt to be, and then you can go into your editor, and I'll show you that as well. You may have to repaint them all back into the map like I had to. So repaint your mining products back in, and then we'll just test the carrot as well. Put a little spot on the ground, and then it makes it very easy to click on in the editor. One more to test is our carrot, which we just customized up here this morning. He can do all the rest or whatever ones he wants to additionally. I'm going to dump carrot. Onto the map. So there we go. And can you make the piles higher? Yes, you can. So that is really what you need to do. If you want to stay tuned, we will do a couple of interesting adjustments. I'm going to save this save game. Actually, I'm going to save his map up so that if he wants to So I have something to send him before we go, and he can decide later if he wants to make these next adjustments. Here, let's save the save game anyway. If he wants to make these next adjustments when I go into his map, I'm going to start screwing it up because I don't know his map that well. But we're going to show you a couple other things you can do with the tip to ground fill types now that we have those three working. Let me zip it so we can continue on. So here I am. We're going to select all of the Rickyville map there. Add to archive. We'll zip it up. And this is the copy that I will... Alright. Where do you get the program to load the trucks? It is on the FS mod page. Yep. It's right in the mod store for Farming Simulator. You can get it. It's a very cool little handy development tool. It has so many possibilities that it's for map making. It, like I said, I would have had to go in and edit the XML file to fill that truck or create 3 trucks, and now it's just super what you can do with that. I don't like I do have it, but I am one of those people that won't cheat my own save games, so I can leave it in there. But I'm past the temptation. I don't want to, but it does have some pretty amazing things. The only cheat I used the other day was I put on super strength when I get my vehicle stuck so I can pick them up. Or if a pallet gets stuck, it's very handy because you can pick up a whole pallet with that. So I'm going to copy that out, and I will paste it. Actually, I'll put it in my Dropbox right now. Let's go to here. We'll make a new open up my Dropbox so I can give Old Man 1022 the link to it, and he will get that one when it's done uploading at the end of the stream. So now that I have that saved, a couple interesting things. Let's go back to the pile height, for instance. He asked about increasing the height of the piles. Map, edit with notepad, ++, search, find, again the terrain detail. Terrain detail, not the density GDM, but we're going to go down one more. Very last part on this line here, the max height. Increasing that number will increase how tall your piles. And I'm just going to do this. 6 is where mine are, but let's see what happens if we do a 10 on the max height, because that'll be a really tall pile. I'm just doing it for messing around purposes. We'll load up the map in the i3D. I have it, but it's not quite set up, and we will take a look at that again today. It's supposed to be set up for subscribers, and they're supposed to automatically get the link to my channel, but for some reason it's not working, and I like to try to automate things, so I'll take a look and see if I can get that again a little bit later for the subscribers. Oh, your Discord, did you get it? Is anybody in there? Can I test? Or you had problems with it breaking and had holes in it? With the holes, it depends what you're using. You can very easily get holes if you're using one the whatchamacallit. I don't even know where your stuff is on your map, dude, but let's see. Where is your mining? Oh, it's right here. Alright, so he would have to erase these. That was his current pile height right there. for ore. We're going to select the foliage layer. We are going to go down to the terrain detail height, and I'm going to just click once there. Okay. Now if I left control here, we'll close, scroll down a little bit. You'll see that there's no bits set. If I left control R, it will set all of the Fummins, welcome to the stream. It will set all the bits. 0 through 5 are the bits for ore. 0, 1, 3, 4, 5 is what ore used to be. It might not be that now. That's why we dump new ones into the map to check, which I should have done. And did I save that? I think I did. So, how to reset how I reset my piles is if we go to my documents, we got to reload this map. My games, Farming Sim 2019, save game 13 is the Rickyville map. I am going to grab the terrain detail height density from my save game now that I just created, and I'm going to put it into the map folder right where the other one was, overwriting the new one we created with the one from the save game, and replace it. And now we'll boot up his map. We should have those piles over on the field. Oh, I don't want to do that. I didn't mean to do that. I want to load up the editor. Excuse me. Alright, so load up the Rickyville map in the editor. Well, the No, the Pleasant Valley that is on Farming Simulator Mod Hub has been discontinued, and you will need to get all the updates from my mod center from now on for both of my maps. Do not update the one that's with the one on the mod center ever again. I almost feel like changing the name of the map just so it doesn't come up as needing an update, because people do that all the time. So get the latest version, and PV Industries is a 16x map. They're two different maps. The Pleasant Valley 19 is a 4x map, and all the mods on the mod center, which the link is down below, or exclamation point mod center, will work on both maps. Alright, so if I know where his store was, where was his store? He might be able. Is this it right over here? The vehicle shop. There's the piles I created on the map right there. And already you can kind of see they're higher. So back to the foliage layer tool. We're going to go to terrain detail height. We have just click somewhere off and then left click R on a pile. So 0, 2, 3, 4 are the bits, and that's not what I think it said in his mind. Let's see what it said for, well, I don't know which one was which. Which one did I dump? Oh, that was silt, I think. So we're not exactly going to get the right products, but that's how you would do it. I think that one was silt. We didn't dump any ore. So let's do a test. I just want to show you something. That was the maximum height of his piles right there. Bits 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 are all height types. So with that set to 10, you could see how much higher it will be with the height type set to 10. I use a 6, goes a little bit higher. His is at 10. That at 10 gives you a really, really high. It would basically pile it up that much higher, almost twice the size. So that gives you an idea. But you do get that little weird, funky edge when you expand your height types and it gets worse. That's why I wouldn't recommend going too high. You see the bottom, how you get those clear spots? The way to fix that, and we'll do it down here in a field, is to, well, where was the field that I was working in? I will just take this empty field for now. If you don't want that bottom edge, let's drop off bits 10, 11, 10, 9, 8, and make a small pile. Notice once you have anything on the lower level where it goes to ground, you're getting rid of that edge because it's much smaller. Then you can actually do all the bits back on if you want, or you can slope it up. I usually do these 3, then throw 11 in on top of that, and then you won't get that rough edge, but it makes it very hard to cut into a little bit. So placing down a little bit, if you go outside like that, you see how I messed it up because doesn't have that one bit of the edge on the bottom. So that'll just increase the visual height. It does absolutely nothing for fill type. So with that being said, I'm going to save the changes to the map. We'll have a huge pile in here. That's why I made the backup for him. Will you need to update from my mod center for those mods? Yes, you do. And if you have a current save game if you're using the original map at this point from the mod hub, I recommend you just starting over. There are ways to convert them, but it's another lengthy process because we've gone through many, many changes since then between 1.0 and 1.8. So grab my updates from the mod center, grab the map that you want to use from the mod center, and they will all work well together. So all that does right there is creates it might not be done saving. We'll wait a minute. It creates a higher looking pile, and that's a size 10, which does not increase the quantity of the product at all. However, there is a way to increase the quantity of the product as well. And we'll do a little bit of a test here, and I'll show you that once it's done saving. I will show you that in just a minute, Thumper. I can't even remember the name of it until I go into it. So that increases the height of the pile. If you want to increase how much is actually in the pile, that is where you go into your XML file for your density map height types, and where you have this fill to ground scale. Let's take, for instance, the silt, because we were editing that. If you up your tip to ground scale to 2, that means that every little particle you pick up will now be like 2 particles in size. So technically, I don't know how high we can go, but I'm going to try a fill to ground scale of 10 on the silt, just for testing purposes here. So we're going to load up his Rickyville map that I just really messed with and see what happens. We're going to start a brand new save game because I edited it. This time I'll start it without seasons. Here, we'll delete that one. so that it will boot up a little faster. So we'll turn off seasons and my PV seasons geo. Don't need those activated. Easy development controls. There you go. Thank you there. And changing rock salt to rock salt. Yes and no. Yes, if you want to use it with seasons. Actually, I don't know. But I changed it so it's two different products because there are complications. So if you have the salt in the map, yeah, just go back, but remember to change any silos that are built into the map. I just added rock in front of salt, um, and change the icon names, all fill the tip to ground. Yeah, you got to go through all the fill planes and the particle effects as well and make sure all the settings are set back to rock salt. It's better that way. I don't know what will happen now. I obviously it booted up. I never even tested it. It obviously booted up with the seasons without any errors, without changing it. But I don't know how it would affect it. I like it, and I am running the actual in-game version of seasons on this, so it was working with the new seasons mod. Not mine, my custom version, but the other one. So give it a test. If you want to keep it salt, you can, but I changed it to rock salt because there is pricing issues of salt in the store when it goes on great demand, and it fluctuates into the negatives, and it's crazy. So I made it a separate product altogether just to keep it away from the season's product. All right. I'm going to get does he have my bucket in there? I don't know where. I guess I'll load the regular bucket. Not a telehandler. We want the wheel loader bucket, high dump bucket. Now check this out. When we go over to the field over there, we should have a massive pile of silt in that field. And again, view distance is set kind of funky. You don't see those piles till you get a little bit closer. So it could be there. It might be there. I hope it's there, because I put it back into the map. Did I not? Wasn't it this field? Oh, come on. Did I not do it right? Or was I in a different field when I was messing around? Let's go over to his mine. Where's the mine? I'm confused. My piles were there, and now... Oh, you know what? It might... Let's see if we have any errors, because I might have increased them too high. I don't know if you can go as high as I did. I'm just messing with big numbers to see what would happen. I know 6 works okay on the height one, but I don't know about the fill. Well, let me buy a vehicle here. Da, 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 da. I'm going to grab my truck and fill it and see if it's still working. F11. Fill type. We can pick anything that we have. I can try it with his ore. If I can find ore. Well, let's go back to silt, make sure it works. Yeah, we'll make sure silt still works in the map. I'm gonna buy that field up. I might have put it in a different field, the blank field, but I can't remember. Is this map PV19 1 point, uh, wait, is which one? 1.1 seasons compatible? Is the 1.1 version? Is that what you're asking me? No, it is with not seasons compatible. Let me buy this field wherever I am, field 2. You got to get 1.3 for seasons compatibility, and you got to go even yeah, just get the 1.8 version if you want to run seasons. So you can see how we're piling up much faster. As a matter of fact, so fast that my truck got stuck because we have a super high pile height set up. I can't even dump it that fast. My truck is stuck. Let's get that loader over here for a minute. I can't even tell you. I don't know why the pile didn't show up. I'm gonna have to go back in and see if I did that right. Maybe I didn't have the... Oh, I might not have saved the game after I dumped the piles. That's probably what I did. Oh yeah, I did, because I saw them. Yeah, that's right. Well, we'll find out in a minute. We edited them in the editor. So any new games should have started with it. So the density type setting the fill level means that the more we could scoop and it won't take away as much of the pile to get a shovel full. But that's that other number, the ground, and you can see that's why there's so much. Yeah, there's a lot in the shovel, but it works. I just can't get my... I don't even know how high. I want to go back. I want to go back out and see why that failed me. My GDM file. Did I grab the right file? Did I overwrite it? It should have from save game. Oh, now that I deleted the save game file. What do you mean, do I have a link that works? For which map? Did I put Rickyville in here? Let me load it back up. Yeah, both. Yeah, they're both on the exclamation point mod center link. Both maps are there. They will both download just fine. Version 1.8. I might have put it on a different field. I don't know. I should have seen some pretty massive piles. Although, you know what very well could have happened is I might have messed up my... might have to take the other stuff out of the map too. No, there's my pile. So, what field is that? Isn't that... Oh, it's down... Alright, I know that the store is there, so I think I might just not have gone down far enough. But those piles weren't there either. However, they should have been... Let me go back. to, it might have to, like I said, we're gonna come over here. Make sure I did it in the terrain detail height. Left control R. There's my, oh, that's rice. That's not what I wanted. Terrain detail height. Come on. Click left control R. That's my bit settings. I might have clicked on something funky. I'm gonna recreate this. Boop, 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 I don't know which product it is, but this should work. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 bits, and 6 and 7. And I don't know why sometimes they come up yellow like that, and sometimes they don't. That will give me the base. Actually, yeah, you can tell now. Something didn't work the last time I did it. You can tell now that these piles are going to be huge because with just bit 6 height set, it's already really high. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'm just curious on how big that's going to look. It should load in whatever product that is. I'm going to do it one more time. Start up. That's a massive, massive pile of whatever. I don't know. Silent Reaper 441, thank you for the follow. I'm curious. There has to be a pile there when I come back in. And it should be a pretty darn big one. Unless it's just not drawing it because of, yeah, my crazy bit settings. Pile height of 10. That's a little overkill. I wish there was a smooth feature. Womble Wayne, thank you for the follow. Hey, the follower count is going up little bit by little bit. We're getting close. Media files. Oh, well, let's see. I'll come back over. Let's see. Click on the map. Click on the link. Click download. Save file. No problem. That one's right there. Go back over to Industries 1.8. Click on the Industries link. Click download. It's right there. So I don't know where you're having problems, but I could click and save in the file. It's right there on the PV Mod Center with both the updated. You might need to refresh your browser or try a different browser, but I get it. Yeah, both of them are right there. 1.8 updates, as well as all the rest of the mods. Saved. I want to check this out again. Farming Sim 19. Yeah, what browser are you using? Because it works that way in Google. It works that way in Now, you might have some additional Trello are your things that you have to set. Only thing I'm thinking is that I didn't put I put the piles in with seasons on, so that you gotta put the piles in with seasons off. Don't run seasons when you're actually setting up the map, but I'm gonna run it with seasons on just because that's the way I had it set. So when you're creating your piles in your map or something to click on in your map, don't have seasons running when you do that. Yeah, Chrome works, Maxthon browser works, Microsoft Edge browser works. All those browsers I have installed. I like the Maxthon browser actually. It's not used by too many people, but it's a pretty cool little browser. The reason that one has it avoids the I switched to that one more than Chrome because Chrome kept getting a bunch of stuff, you know, ad pop-ups and virus stuff and all that junk gets targeted to Chrome so much that it was driving me nuts. But the Maxthon browser actually has both the Firefox and the Chrome plugins built into it, so it will load up both whatever one it detects. So it's pretty handy. Now the Edge browser, which is my default browser, is not. That's a piece of junk. But I still use it. Now this also might have screwed up because I was using the seasons and the salt probably threw it off when I set that pile up. So yeah, I would go back and change your salt to rock salt. Otherwise, you might get these things where the piles don't show up with the original seasons mod. So we might have some issues there. When I dumped those piles on the ground, I should have had seasons not checked. Let's see if they're in there with seasons running, because that's where these things get crazy. Let's go purchase that truck. Now, yeah, see, those piles are not showing up here, the ones I dumped. Let's see if that last one I created. If it isn't there, I'm going to try a couple new things. I'm going to try actually doing it the way we should. Because, yeah, it's not there. Kind of weird. So we're going to have to do it the proper way and reset a pile. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is go out of that game. I'm going to bring it down to more realistic levels as well in the map. We're going to do a fill type level. We'll up his fill type level. So in here in the map i3D, which probably, watch this, I probably didn't save it. No, terrain detail height. We're going to bring that back to 6, which I know works, max height of 6, because that's where mine is set. And we'll save that. And we're going to go into the XML file for terrain detail. And I'm going to just Which one did I edit to 10? The silt. I'm gonna make these the silt. We'll put these at 6 as well, just for the heck of it. I don't know if 6 will work, but we're gonna find out. All right. With that, we're gonna go and start a brand new save game. Farming Sim 19. And I'll show you how I actually do piles over. Nope, I can't do Dropbox download right now, Dirk. I'm not going to because my Dropbox is being used for so many other things that and I've got so many people downloading that, yeah, it causes issues with me running out of Dropbox space, even with the Plus edition. So there's no reason why that link should be working. It works for everybody else. I suggest you get your browser fixed up. I'm going to turn off seasons here. Make sure that's not on when you're creating your piles. I don't know what other things. I mean, I got a lot of stuff I use, but I don't think there's anything else that's going to cause an issue with this map, I hope. Try clearing your browser cache if you're, I don't know. Yeah, the links should pop right up on MediaFire. You might get the MediaFire page pop up. I know that does for some people, but still. What external websites are you talking about? I don't even know if my map is on any external websites other than my own. So I'm gonna go in and grab the truck. We'll do his coal hit. We'll do one. I'm gonna go over to. We'll fill it up with ore. F11. If I can find his ore. There's ore. Alright. Let's go over to his mine. If you're getting the pop-up, the download link is right there on the site. Where's the mine? I suppose I should check the minimap. See if I can locate it. How do I get there from here? There's a bridge up ahead. I could take that one. The funny thing is my MediaFire is done, so you shouldn't get pop-ups. I mean, I pay for it. It's supposed to be just a... Yeah. Let me see. Where is it? The mine is over there. It's a very nice looking map, by the way, old man. It's pretty cool. Rabbit Sean, thank you for the host. Gonna try out a couple things. If I can find the ore. I know it's over this way somewhere. Looks like there might be an entrance right here. Looks like there's a couple spots for ore. Let's go over to, see? Now it looks like carrot because that that's what happens when you expand the map fill types and you don't reset them. There's the pile I placed earlier, but notice also you can drive through them. So the pile I placed on this one with the bad edge is probably collisionable of silt because it went in correctly. Now why the other one down on the other? But look how much taller. And I put silt in the middle over there. So basically, find your ore, make a pile next to where it's supposed to be. That's his original ore pile height. Is that really? I'm gonna buy this mine area wherever I am right now. It might have got adjusted because of the map changes. I'll buy that so I can dump. Oh, let me get some cash. And I'm gonna dump this pile. Left control I right here. And that's all you really need is a little piece of it so you know where it is. Q space save game. Now, my guess is the reason why piles are getting up is because of seasons and because the salt in seasons and the rock salt are now need to be two different items. So basically you need to go into your XML for your fill types, edit that with Notepad, and find your salt. Which is in there somewhere. Well, let's do a search. I can't. And add it so it's, I just put ROCK in front and ROCK. You can leave the same HUD filt as salt if you don't want to change them, but when it looks for them with the global company icons, it's going to look for a rice right. So that's why I have a couple different ones in there. So if you name these, you're going to want to change the names to match on the fill icons. But also you got to come down here and change every instance of salt to rock salt that you have in any of these. So if you're spreading salt, you might want to remove it from the spreader actually because and keep salt in the spreader. I don't know, I didn't put salt in my spreader. But yeah, you'd want to come through because the auger wagon, it will hold the salt if you're running seasons or you'll get the fill type not found now. So rock salt there would be needed to be changed. Whoops, rock salt. This one for the and the quarry silo. Rock salt. One more change on that one right down there. And also got to remember any sell point that had salt has to be changed to rock salt. And any customized mods like silos and stuff. So that those changes will be made. And just so you're with me there on this one, you gotta open up your fill planes, your oh, you have them done differently. You have them all individual. All right. Well, you're gonna have to find the. Or do you have a fill plane material holder, the main one? You added individuals separately. A, B, C, fill plane material holder. Salt is probably in here. Yeah, that'd be a lot of rotten carrots. So with the fill plane material holder, you want to go through and find salt, which is probably down further, and make sure you change these in here to rock salt so it doesn't throw an error, and this one to rock salt. Same thing with your material holder for the salt on your particle effects, which is particle systems effect material holder. There's a lot of instances of salt in there, so it's just changing the names. Let's see, if you click in here and you click to go for the link, you're not getting that page right there. Where you can click the download link right there. I mean, that's the page you should be getting. Okay, let's get rid of that. So that's what you should be getting for a link when you click on the update for either of them. Now, I technically don't get the pop-ups because I have a subscription, but you guys should be able to get the links pretty easy. They're just clicking that. Yeah, it should open you right up into this link here. I don't know why you're not getting it. It does that with every link that's on there that is on my site. So you've got something going on funky with your browser, I guess. So yeah, make sure you go through all of these, look for any instances of salt or your particles won't work, and change this part to rock salt on all of those. Then you also have to go into any cell points that you had salt that are built into the map and change them so that they are now rock salt. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but yep, if you have a smoke for salt, you want to change that one to rock salt and then go through all your built-in cell points as well. So then when you save those up, there's several little changes that went into this little update. Close that up. Alright, so we saved my save game, documents, my games, Farming Sim 2000, terrain detail, height density, GDM. Copy that into my map folder for Rixieville, however you say it, and paste it into there, replacing the one that's in there. And then we load up the map. Yep, any factories that use salt to rock salt as well, but I don't have any currently that use salt in my map, so I haven't got that far yet. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to that point. Exclamation point uptime doesn't actually work, but I could tell you I've been on an hour and a half. We're going to take a break for a little while. I'll come back later on. I'm going to get a little head start on a flower factory. So if I come in now that I copied that file over, this is the way the complete update should go. We got to find somewhere over here. Where was it? Was it that one? There it is. That's the little pile of ore that I poured. That's his old ore. Now that I got them together, let's see what happens here. Terrain detail height. Click off the pile. Then left control R sets the bits. So 0, 1, 3, 4, 5 were the bits on the old one. Control R. Now they're going to be 0, 1, 3, 4. It lost the 5. These are heights. The 6, 7. I think it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 are the height ones. Yeah. So the maximum pile height type would be that now. Let me go back here though and delete this out for this test. Left click and delete the pile right out of there of carrots or whatever it was. He's going to want to get all the other piles off the map. You could do them all at once. And then I'm going to start with my 6 and 7, which is pretty low. Nice little low area. And I paint that around the outside where I want ore. I do have the right bits. 1, 0, 1, 3, 4. Let me double check those. I don't know if yeah, the rest of them are height. So 0, 1, 3, 4 is the coal on this map, or the ore on this map. I'm just doing this as a quick test. I don't have to get too technical. So 8, 9, we'll bring it up a little bit higher. I'm going to go actually right up to 8, 9, 10 and fill this in. Just leaving a little bit of an edge there. You can do it in many steps. There's lots of different combinations of those height bits for even much smaller increments, but it will work this way. And then we'll turn on the 11 and top it off. '11 is huge by itself. That's one of the main bits. That's why my pile height increased pretty drastically. Then once you have your new pile drawn in, delete the old little piece you put there. Save the map. Now this one should be the page comes up That is weird. You might want to get your computer checked out. Run a virus or adware checker or whatever if you're getting redirected. You will get ads, possibly. I mean, there are ads on this if you're not logged in. And if you click, like I did by accident, yeah, I just gotta click to try to get the title bar and it clicked up an ad. I have a MediaFire account. I've been a MediaFire user for 2,384 days. I don't know, but I'm giving... I am not logged in this browser to MediaFire. This is the download. It says download in the size. I don't know if you have these more sharing options, copy link file to clipboard. Maybe you could try that. And then paste that link. And it still brings you right back there. Save to my files. Saved Pleasant Valley. Oh, saved it to my account. I already have an account, so you probably wouldn't have that unless you have an account. But yeah, it should be right there. Nobody else is having issues that I know of. Are we saved? Yes. So now if I go into the Rickyville map, we should be able to get it. Let's hope it's there this time. I'm going to start a new one. New farmer. Let's pick the right map. New follower. Sistole. Thank you for the follow. You're at work, so you're able to get PV Industries, but not the other map. Is that correct? You're able to get Industries, but not the other map link. What am I doing? I'm turning off seasons. Okay, then you have a problem with your cached files because you're pulling up the old link that I had to change it this time, and that page either needs to be refreshed so you get the proper link, or you got to clear your cache files out because it's still pulling up the old link before the 1.8 update. If that's the case, one of them's working and one's not. That would be my best guess. So refreshing the page or clearing out your cache files so that it reloads it completely, the web page should do the trick. Let's go over to the map. Let me purchase. Alright, I've got another thing that you can do. Here, we'll get this one. Buy, yes, okay. Wheel loader, shovel. Buy, yes, okay. It's on that page. That's where it is. It's on that page. All right. So I'm gonna see where we have to go back over here. So let's teleport over to field 14. F11. Teleport vehicle. Check. And go into the mine right over there. Kind of cool having that. Another cool thing about this too, while we're here, is I can go and field index 14, I can put it lime on it. I can set everything, the wheel, fruit type wheat. If I want, I can go and change this to soy. Well, let's change it to sorghum and we'll make it fully grown field. And click the check mark and we'll set the ground type. Oh, we just turned the weeds here. Let's go back and make it fully grown in sorghum. See? I can make sorghum instantly for testing. I love that mod. Made the field we're on. Planted. So it's great for when you have to test combines, harvesters. I don't only... Who needs TARDIS? Is that the one I changed? What the heck is going on? That's the one I changed. Why is it coming in as salt on your map? And why is it not collisionable? It should be fine. Now everything's coming in salt. What is going on with his map? What did he do differently? It shouldn't be that way. A placeable storage has an invalid fill type salt, but why the heck is he getting everything? I mean, I dumped the pile right there. It could be have to do with my mods in the map. Let me try starting it up without all the stuff. Without all my mods. Let's back it down. Yeah, I broke it good. Only thing I could think of is my mods. Something in my mod folder is messing it up. So let's deselect all. I do want my vehicles, but I don't need anything else. Heck, I really don't need anything. Oh, I want the money cheat. Looking for the money cheat in here is like, let's start at the top and see if I need anything. I want the testing tools and the money cheat. That's all I really need. Easy development controls, check. Actually, I think that has money cheat built into it too, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure it does. There, the money tool. Check. Start it up with just a couple things, because that just makes no sense to me. But then again, it is a completely different map. Also, it could be that it's in my folder, and I'm adding so many different... It might have to stay in a separate folder. We'll try that next if this doesn't work. These are all issues that happened in the past. It would load the fill type tip to grounds from my map because they're in the same folder, even though he doesn't have them, and that could screw them all up too. Nope, that's definitely not working as prescribed, which is very, very weird. Without all those mods. Warning, placeable storage. Yeah, we're gonna get the invalid fill type salt, because salt is gone. And all the uncreate materials salt errors. So you know what the problem is? I think. Let's see. These maps are complicated. Let's go back to his map here real quick. We might be throwing off. Did I change salt in the map density height types to rock salt? Because we changed the fill type. That would mess everything up. That's probably it right there. Rock salt has to be changed. Tip on ground. Salt diffuse, salt norm. But yeah, map density height type for salt. Because salt's no longer in the map, you can't have that one. That will mess that right up. That was probably what it is, but unfortunately you gotta go back and do it all again. Rock salt, it can still point to the same tip on ground files, but because we changed the fill type to rock salt, that right there being the first one was probably causing all the rest of them to draw wrong. And changing all the bit types. Yeah, if there's a mod folder switcher. No, I'm pretty sure that has to be it. There is a mod folder, but I didn't want to set up a whole mod folder. I'm pretty sure that that was the main issue. I have to make sure rock salt is in a pile, because it isn't salt in the map anymore. I mean, salt is not a pile anymore. I was probably just throwing it right out of whack. Made every pile salt instead. No. Yeah, giving him FS19 a plug. MFS. It's now PV Tools. Exclamation point PV Tools. Get you my PV Tools mod or program to switch mod folders. Let's see what we look like here. F11. Teleport player. Run to the hills. I'm not expecting it to look any better. Carrots back. There we go. That's what we're looking for. That's what it was. We were. That's what we wanted for a pile. So yeah, very simple thing. Not part of. That's why with the early part of the show, he's got a hot air balloon. So redrawing it will work fine, but we had a invalid fill type for the very first one in the density height types. But now there's the ore. That's how high the piles are now. And you notice because I have the thin layer, we don't get that broken part. Can I send you this copy? You're going to have to clean it up if you want this copy. And it's not done yet. There's definitely little pieces like needs to be done, taken out like that. The silt pile that I put right there. It's pretty tall though, huh? And yeah, still have to finish up the particle effect material holder stuff. And this is actually the rock salt now. So let's go over to the store now and grab our wheel loader. Oh, get my money. See, I like it because I don't have to exit out of this program if I have the money cheat and go into the F11 to get my money. Do a little quick test. So it's your choice there, old man. If you want to finish up, you still got to do a lot of changes with the fill type salt to get all those little indicators out. And most of them are going to be in the, and you're going to have to clean up the fields over here too. So you're probably better off with the other one unless, because they're probably, the stuff that I placed on the fields over here that didn't draw in is still technically in the map with the wrong bit sets. The one that might be in this field down there, so you're probably better off jumping in and just going through those things. Yeah. So you got it finally? Yeah, because the map had the piles in here. They're not showing there currently, but they are. I did draw something in there before the crash. Yeah, the other copy. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of little things that would need to be cleaned up. Let's buy that one. Now, technically speaking, if they're the same and they're in the right place, you wouldn't have to replace them. I replaced mine because I drew the taller piles in. But we're going to go over here anyway. Just make sure you have... I will go back to the other copy and I will change the rock salt in the fill type so you don't run into that issue. That's the whole problem that we've been having is that salt. So basically what's going to happen is once you're done, when you come to your fill types, you will have salt in the menu will be changed to rock salt. Notice how it says rock salt there. But if you're running seasons, it will add an additional fill type that's called salt. Now you have these very large piles. These piles, again, have had the fill increased. There's the small level underneath of the ore. And it should give you more per piece. Per as you're digging in. So yeah, you can play with your ore. Your pile height's increased. I can make a few quick changes to the other map, and then we'll get it done for you so I can get back to my stuff. Before I send it to you, I will fix it up. Let me come back out here. Let me go into Rick's. This is the one we saved. I'm going to copy that out to the desktop for a minute. We're going to delete this whole folder right there. All right. We'll put the Rixeyville back in over here and extract it so I can work on it. Fresh copy without the mess. Depends which map you're running. Run the game and take a look. I can't remember. I don't have time to go through the list of them. Run the game. Check it out there, Dur. Whatever map you're using. You don't have to click save, but you can tab right through them. Right. So with this map, fruit density, height types. First thing, we want to change that to rock salt, R-O-C-K, to throw that error. I'm going to leave these at 1 because the filter ground scale doesn't look like it's doing much. It might be a lower number that needs to be done there. That might be why. Let's leave them at 1 for now, but we will change rock salt. You can experiment with that. It might be like 1, so maybe a 0.5 means you get more per scoop. I don't know. I'll have to experiment with that at some point. But rock salt, the rest of them, okay. Second thing that we need to do is go into the map, i3D, edit, reload, terrain detail, height, density. We're gonna increase your max height to 6 so you have the taller piles like we just saw. And we'll save that. Now, the rest of the issues are your salt issues. So, in order to do this, what you need to have is, starting from the tops, your fill plane material holder is a pretty easy one. But what we're going to do is come down, Elemental P, QR. Alright, I'm going to leave the fill planes, but we'll do the material holder. I'm not going to rename them. You shouldn't need to. I didn't do it on my map. But in the material holder, we will rename it so that it finds it correctly. Now, there is one thing I do want to change too, but let's do this first. So you're going to find salt in here, which is down near the bottom. I'll change it to rock. That part doesn't matter as much as 2 other things. ROCK. That is very important. And this is very important. Now, Another thing I'm going to do real quick on it for you, which I haven't done on mine, but it'll fix a problem. HUD fill. ROCK on these two icons. The only problem it fixes is if they're named correctly, then the global company thing will find them. So if you look in my global company icon folder, I actually have salt and rock salt looking the same. But because it would have thrown up the error if I didn't put ones with that name, even though my map isn't using it, I have that icon in basically. But I did that because what we need to do over here on the salt icon is reload it, HUD fill, so it relinks properly. HUD fill rock salt. It's the same picture, but the other one's no longer there, so that will fix the fill plane material holder and link to the proper rock salt graphic file. Particle systems, it's not too hard. You want to get the effect material holder. Everyone that has salt gets changed to rock salt, and it also gets every piece in here. They're pretty quick. ROCK, and also that will make it so it's completely vanilla version of seasons compatible. Smoke file. ROCK. You can name it. This part is just the group. It doesn't necessarily have to be named rock salt. You shouldn't have it in the straw. You shouldn't have it in your chopper. You shouldn't have it in your soil or sprayer. Your spreader, no. Your pipe, yes. You're going to have it in your pipe. Rock salt. And because I'm not changing the images, the actual image names, they still point to the right place. They just need to know that it's rock salt now. It should be in your belt folder because you can put it on belts. Anything that you can pick up with a belt. You want to have this part done. And then the leveler, yeah, it's probably in there too because we can push it around. I'm not going to change the name because that's an actual object and it won't affect anything. We just want to make sure it has... Technically, I could probably change the name of it, but I'm not going to. I don't want to mess anything up. So we'll leave that even though it's rock salt. Fill plane material holder's done. Next are the particle effects. Next, it's basically your XML for fill types. Once again, search and find salt. We can do a replace, but ROCKSALT. But there is a thing. This one has to be in all caps. So if I do a replace there and a replace there, I gotta rock salt. I can actually do this now. So if I find next, we're going to keep it now, HUD fill rock salt. We got to change that, yep. Because we changed the name on yours. HUD fill rock salt small. And I'm going to replace that version. These all with the capitalized versions. There. So your fill type file should be correct. What I am not doing right now, because I'm not familiar with your map, is going into your anything that's built into your map as a placeable that has a farm silo. If you did your farm silos that have salt in them, which you probably do, I don't know if you have any built into your map, but anything as far as farm silos, anything in your map that has a selling station or any train stations that wherever you have them, you're going to have to go into those silos and just finish up any objects in your map that have salt and change them to rock salt. So you fix the silos and sell points. Very good. Everything else should be ready to go. Let's zip this one up and we'll give it a quick look. With your old piles, you might not even have too much to edit if you didn't want to, but you will have to redraw your piles. But I'll take a look at this one in the editor. Just make sure that we got all the errors out. Yep, and you can download my geomod and customize it for your map if you'd like, but all the crops and you're going to have to, if you look in my geomod, you're just going to have to, there's a, part of it might not work with yours. I don't know if it will throw errors or not. You'll have to give it I don't think it will. But my Seasons Geo does have all of my products in it for the economy. Lots of different economy settings, and if you don't have the products, yeah, I think it's okay. Is it okay to have a geomod with additional products even if you don't have it in your map? I wonder. I never tested that. Like if I take any geo and add my products to it, it will work. Yeah, you can remove mine and add yours or whatever, but as far as the temperatures for my map, it's so the products will grow. So the weather is kind of important, and as far as you don't have to remove all of them if you want good settings for, and I'm still got some tweaking to do with that too, I'm sure. I'm still working through the first season, so I don't know how everything's going to turn out, but we should have, and I'll check again, the only errors you should get are any silo ones now, if I did it all correctly. On a new save, new farmer, Rixeyville, turn off seasons, and again, seasons will work. You're going to want to get the regular version of seasons right from Giants Mod Hub now after this update. Start a new save game with seasons. It will add the seasons fill types on after the ones that are in the map, so it won't be any problems. You can continue adding your other tip to ground fill types by using the ones out of my map. If you have the same ones, all the image files are already linked, and you could probably grab your files sit almost identical to mine, so you could probably just grab that right out of my map and have the same ones that I do. with the exception of there's one little misspelling that I messed up on shells on the auger wagon, so eventually that's my peanut shells. Yeah, you have different fill types in that as well, so thank you, Ron FS Junkie, for slapping your sticker. I can't hear it though. Where's my volume on that sticker slapping stuff? That was weird. I don't know if you guys heard that, but thank you so much for that. Uh, Gotta love these little things here. How they just cut in and out. I'm trying to fix that back up. Alert box should have made the noise. Event list. That's just that list right there. It showed up on my screen here. But darn it all, thanks for them anyway. Uh, Trying to get it to work. I don't know what's up with that stuff. F. Alright, so you're gonna have these, all these icon, because I don't have your icons. That's basically what that is. So we are not worrying about the the info lines for all of the icons in that mod. Other than that, we don't have any map errors, which is good so far. I'm not seeing any instances of rock salt issue yet. I do still see the unit converted salt. Alright. So yeah, that's all my warnings for my shell fuel. Unknown brand. Unknown brand, yeah, that's all my items. Because the brand's built into my map. I'm looking for anything that might be specific to the rock salt. The shop item tower, water tower. No, pretty much looking okay. No rock salt issues. And without editing your piles at all. Oh, we're in a vehicle. Well, that works. We can get there pretty fast. Your original piles would have changed to whatever we see. Yeah, they're all going to be carrot non-collisionables until you change them. Why carrot? That is strange. Did I do have rock salt in there. Oh, there's one. The salt is okay. And that should scoop up as rock salt now. Thank you for the follow, Herbert. And actually, there's another one that's okay. The gravel actually came in okay. So yeah, you're gonna end up with the same thing as me. Gravel, sand, and salt will be okay, and everything else needed to be replaced. Because of the addition. Oh, get out of there. So your sand will probably be okay too on that map. Yep, that's exactly the way mine came in. But you might want to increase your pile heights and everything anyway. But those are the three that worked in mine, and then the coal and the other ones all had to be redrawn. So it's not a complete loss, but you can so you can actually come right in and you don't have to place a pile of sand. You can just click on your sand, you can click on your gravel, and you can click on your rock salt, but the other ones you're going to have to create little piles for your coal and your ore, because ore is now carat and non-collisionable. And there is, yeah, coal and ore need to have a fix. Other than that, you're good to go. So we'll give you that copy. We'll load that up for you. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we'll give you a quick sneak peek of what's coming later on for you guys today. When I take my little break and come back, we've got a couple things finished. I'll be releasing them tonight. And I'll jump onto my map where I know everything comes in just fine. Let's see, we'll delete that for now. Thank you for the boom, Ron FS Junkie. New Farmer, Pleasant Valley, continue. Turning off seasons. Starting up my game. Fix my crossing gates problem? Well, that's cool. You're welcome, old man. We'll send that up to you in a little bit. I'll get you a link before I exit. But I want to give a little brief look at what's coming later today. And what I did with the new stuff. New stuff coming. I'm going to be starting the flower factory in a little while. And I'll get a little bit of a head start before I go back streaming a little bit later today. I don't know when I'm coming back. I got to run out to the store and do some stuff. But we do have a couple things ready for later on. And let me get some cash. Let me get some property. We'll buy the center here. Yes. Purchase. In the miscellaneous, you have a gold master. I'm going to put it right over here across from the store for easy working. Now, there is only one gold master. Reason being, let me purchase a vehicle now. I decided to try to keep the mods a little bit less redundant because we're going to have so many later on with this map. So the new gold master actually is both it will take silt as well. Oh, I just put it in. We got to do the right thing here. So we'll take sand, gravel, and silt for input products on the gold master. And it's just one rather than having separate ones. So you can place multiples wherever you want. But I didn't see the need to have duplicates when everything's the same but just the fill types. So if we come over here and open up, you'll see it has a raw materials. It can put in either sand, gravel, or silt. And it requires water. And it will create your gold, your clean fill, and some recycled water on the other end. So works pretty much the same. With that, the graphic files are going to be just the gravel ones in all the extra stuff. So when we dump silt, it's just going to start moving and turn on, but we'll dump the silt in there. Actually, we need water too. Holds 500,000. you'll see a plane lifting up. I'm not concerned about visual planes as far as if you're dumping silt instead of gravel. But we will fill that right up with 100,000. Also, what's cool about it is you can combine them too. So if we put in 100,000 of our silt and then we wanted to add in later on, whoops, some gravel, we can also dump, and I'm just doing this to get a little bit more. We can put gravel right in the same one. So you can use any of the three products into the fill part of the Goldmaster. We've got enough in there for it to work. Let's go grab from my trailers. Under animals, I guess we have a big water trailer. And we'll get some water in there. Because you can't buy it. You're not going to be able to cheat the Goldmaster products in. But we can do it this way. Q, F11, fill unit water. Check, we're full. I like it. Water's so easy. Yes, you do. You have to make your... You can buy it. You can buy it, but making it is even better. So you come over to fill up your water, and you will notice as soon as I do that, we started up production. Now I don't know if you can hear the volume because I could actually turn the volume on. You might be able to hear it. The game volume. No, you can't hear it, but there is a lot of noise going on. The animation kicks in for the sprayers, which didn't work last year, but we've got some sprayers there. We've got digital display. The one for that is right behind there. 1543. You've got your gold display, which is still at 0. There's lots of noise. I just don't have it. So that's just flowing down and going up, and this is your clean fill out and recycled water that you can bring back over. So let me put the rest of this water in here. We're going to need to do a little bit of a test. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, while we're filling up our water, all the fill planes work in all those pieces as well. Can I show how to make the seed and fertilizer? You have to... Well, the seed and fertilizer is made with... I can show you the mods that are used. They're right on the mod center. Just jump in. They're the same ones. Those are in the global company. Seed maker, fertilizer maker. I'm not going to jump into that right now. That'd be great stuff to ask X-Man1971 when he streams next, because he does a lot of that. I've got way too much development stuff going on to go back and rehash things 100 times. I apologize for that, but I'm just going to try to get through this, because I've got literally months and months worth of work to get caught up on everything here. I don't want to seem short and non-helpful, but all this stuff has been covered so many numerous times, especially all the way back to the seed and fertilizer makers, that for me to go over it again and again and again every time somebody new comes in is just very non-productive. They're just placeable factories. Jump in, give them a try, and then ask questions. That's what I prefer, not to give you complete demos for people that haven't tried them out yet. So we do have gold being made. It's 8:36 in the morning. I'm going to fast forward time to see about how long it takes to get one pallet. Alright, so 4 hours for 1,000 gold of this running. Might need to do some adjustments. That's pretty quick. That's a lot quicker than I wanted. But it will shut down if you, yeah. So I'm going to slow down the production time on gold. Because a pallet of gold, which we're going to find out in just 1 minute, has, alright, now we have enough for a pallet. Which we can spawn 1 pallet of gold. It holds up to 5 pallets. Look at that nice shiny gold ready to go. So with this update as well, we have to do something. You get clean fill, which will have to be emptied to keep this thing running. So we can come over here and load up clean fill, and then you gotta haul it off to sell it. Now it is in the ports already, I noticed. Clean fill as a product is actually sellable at a few of the ports. Where is it? The ports will take it. Yeah, it's a little bit too easy, so we're going to change that a little bit before I release it later on today. So another addition into the sell points, your trash sell point, and I'm do this for convenience purposes, will now also take your clean fill for a little extra money when you're ready to sell off. So there will be an update to the trash sell point to unload, but we're going to slow down the process of gold making for sure, because that's 2,512 just for your clean fill in 4 hours. And on the flip side, on the sell points, we also have the key bank added to sell your gold. So you're going to have to buy the bank as well. And I will get that pallet of gold. I'm going to just grab this forklift. So far for later on, those are what will be, what will be coming. We'll go pick up my gold pallet. Up, 1.8 is all set for this. 100% all set for this and many of the future factories. No need to update. But yeah, you want 1.8. Definitely want 1.8. 1.8 does have a little bug, like I said. There's one little tiny error. Fill type not found in the auger wagon for the peanut shells, but I'm not going to fix that until we get feedback on everything else, because we don't even have the peanut shells in the map yet, and it's just a warning. It's not an error. I misspelled it. I put a D instead of an S, my fumbly fingers, in one spot in the fill type, and it's probably that way on both maps. So we can take our gold. Let's see how much is gold selling for, and then I have to adjust the factory a little bit to make it so you're not making $1 million a day by just filling in some gold. So a pallet of gold is selling for $27,000. That's a decent price. I just don't know if you want to be $27,000 an hour. Did I accidentally leave the train system on the map? I didn't do anything with a train system. Cherokee here. Nah, 27K a day. Well, that's 4 hours. We're going to slow down the production. But it takes work. Like said, it takes work. But we want it to take more work than that. So we will be adjusting it. The 27,000 for a pallet. I mean, real time speaking, if we're at 120, it doesn't go up super fast. It doesn't seem like it, does it? Because that's 120 speed. So, but you're finding little bits of gold. So we're going to slow it down just a little bit. Oh, when you brought my map up in, oh, I might have left the train system in. But it's running okay. I'll have to remove it. Darn it all. Which map was that I left it? We were fixing the big industries map. It has to be the industries because of the stupid train system thing. So yeah, I might have to update industries and get that back out. So gold doesn't actually produce all that fast, but it does produce. Yeah. See, those are the things when you try to go through and get things out. So clean fill cells also, again, on this, you get an 80% water return. So as the water fills up, you will need to empty it, and you can actually take it right from, just works the same way it did in 17. We can empty water here. And 80% of it, I think it's 80. 80% comes back. 50 or 80. We're going to adjust some numbers though. And you can keep recycling it, but you'll lose a little bit every time you do. So eventually you'll have to come over and drop off some fresh stuff. So we're going to do a little bit of tweaking to the prices. Yeah, we're going to see. I don't know if is it messing up the map when you bring it up, having the thing in there? Is there double trains? There shouldn't be. There could be, but I don't think it. I'll have to run industries and check. Make sure it's not messing anything up. But if it isn't, then yeah, I won't update it right now. For sure. So yeah. Goldmaster's coming later today with a bank and with updated trash sell point. And we're going to start working on our flour mill as well. So you can have as many gold masters as you want, and you can put them near your sand, gravel, and silt piles to run them. Get you a little bit more fun stuff. After the flour mill, we're going to get into we're going to look at some storage units for your, so that's the order right now. Flour mill, then we're going into storage for building products, and storage for orchards, and cold storage. So just double on the crossing gates. Yeah, that's an issue still. We'll see. We'll get it done. We'll wait, see if anything else comes back. There are doubles on the crossing gates anyway because of the multiple gates. Why not rebuild the big warehouse you had on 17? We will be doing a larger warehouse. It's a matter of the global company just expanded to add more fill types and the menus and stuff. So we're having a larger warehouse at some point, but it's going to be different. And at this point, we're doing smaller ones so you can put them elsewhere, and then later on we'll have a bigger one. But trust me, this next one is going to be pretty darn big as it stands, because Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we'll definitely have a warehouse. That's the thing. I don't think we can have one warehouse with the global. We might be able to now. It still has to be tested. If we can have 30 products on a line, and now that would give us at least two factories. We might not be able to squeeze everything into one. It all depends on if the global company. So that will be coming down the road. We got to do some more testing with the new version to see how many fill types it can actually have. Previously, it was only 20. 20 was the maximum. So, uh, but they updated. So now it should be at least 60. But if it actually can have 5 factory lines on it, then it could be 5 times 30, which is 180, which should cover everything at least to a certain point. But we're also going to look at building you dynamic storage for the tip to ground stuff as well. So we'll see. On the warehouses, do you still need one trigger for each product? You don't. You never did need one trigger for each product on warehouse storage. I set it up that one, but you can have multiple products in and multiple products on a out triggers on, and now you can even have multiple triggers for the same product with the latest update if it's done correctly, so you could put one over a train tracks, which we're going to be looking into that as well when we get into some of the tippable products and past the pallets. So yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, 150 products or so is not bad, especially when we get down the road and we want to build some bigger, more active things. But I don't know if they have. I haven't tested a third production line yet. Maybe we'll be getting into that a little bit later. We can do some testing. But for now, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thanks for watching the early show, the unannounced early show. A little bit later, I'll come back. I got some running around to do and get a little bit of setup for the flour mill, and then we'll come back and get you guys. A little bit late there for the host, but I appreciate it, Jay Vanatter, because I'm going off for a little while. I'll come back and we'll work on a flour mill and get these mods all finished up and ready for you guys. So catch you guys a little later, and you have a good day until then. If you can't make it back, we'll see y'all later.